And welcome to episode 153 of Habs Unfiltered. I'm your host, Blaine Pudvang. I'm joined now by my co-host, Matt Smith.
Good evening.
And Treg Wilson.
Woo!
So, who's happy?
Oh my God, my heart can finally take a break.
I missed the game. I was watching a movie. What happened?
Yeah, apparently you were watching the movie with Matthews and Marner.
You and Tina watching fucking Made Manhattan or something.
36 seconds. 36 seconds into the show, Matt drops the F-bomb.
You're welcome.
I literally set a timer just to see how long it took.
Never going to be a reputable podcast, Matt, because of your language.
We have that one poor review because of you.
You'll never listen again.
And to our former Leaf fans who are now Kraken fans who hate listen to us, keep listening because this show is going to be covering the playoffs into the second round. Was that too subtle?
Actually, it's pretty. I was going to ask Matthews and Marner out for a drink after the game, but they never make it to the second round, so I'd be paying for all the drinks.
Oh.
Maybe if Marner scored. Oh wait, he's never done that in the playoffs either.
Oh. Okay, Matt, do you have any zingers you want to just lay in before we get going?
I've been holding these in the whole series, okay?
No, I won't throw any zing. I already swore, right? So I'll defer my zingers.
All right. So if anyone hasn't figured it out yet, the Canadiens have just mounted a comeback. They were down in the series 3-1. They came back and won the series 4-3 with a 3-1 Game 7 victory. Who'd have thunk it? Not Craig Button.
That's right. Friend of the
None
show,
of
Craig
us.
Button.
Blame you had the games, right?
Yeah, we will have you back anytime, Craig. We love you.
Not Nick Kyprios. I'm pretty sure. Actually, he liked a tweet I put. I said, "Hey, after the Habs won their second game, I said, are you still only going to give him one game?" And he liked it. So I'll give him that. But
so before we do start breaking stuff down, regardless of who won that game, I live in Ontario. I've lived through this pandemic just like the rest of you, but Ontario has been hit really, really hard, and I'm really happy for those frontline workers that were able to go to the game and that were able to be in attendance. We saw a couple Habs jerseys there, so obviously that put a smile on my face. But regardless of the win, or even if they would have lost tonight, you know what? I'm happy that they were in attendance.
Yep.
And this will mean more fans at the Bell Center.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Another thing it means, a couple things. The first is the Habs Unfiltered show purchased a Jonathan Drouin jersey, and it is sitting in the stands at the Bell Center. So that will remain there for the remainder of the playoffs. We assumed it was only going to be 1 or 2 games, but it turns out many more. Also, we as a podcast, Habs Unfiltered now has $100 set aside to the Canadian Children's Foundation. Several other people have pledged to match that donation. Each win the Canadians put up, it's another $25. So hopefully they can win the next round, and that would be $200. And Treg, you had something to say about that too.
Yeah, I made a bet on the series. I bet $100 that the Habs would win the series against a Toronto fan. I won't bring up the person who did it. And he's paid up, and I'm going to donate that $100 to our charity finish. So now we're up to $200.
Beautiful. The more the Habs win, the more the kids get.
Hashtag do it for the kids.
So Habs win 3-1 in Game 7. We got to break this down a little bit. So let's go period by period. So the first period, there's clearly nerves on both sides. The Leafs obviously feeling the pressure because they're the favorites, and they were supposed to win this in 4, and they have a history of not winning that big game to move on because they haven't been in the second round since 2004. This team specifically with its current core has lost 5 first round matchups?
4.
Well, they've lost all of them. Every single time they've made the playoffs, they've lost. So you can understand that losing games 5 and 6 in overtime to the Canadiens really played on them. So they were playing a little bit tentative because, yeah, they pushed the pace a little bit. The Leafs did, but everything was kept to the outside. The Canadiens defense did its job holding things to the outside. They didn't have a single shot from the slot in that period, according to Sport Logic. Conversely, the Canadiens, who also did not score in that first period, they were also mostly kept to the outside. They only had a couple of shots from the slot. Kotkaniemi had a chance where he could have picked up a rebound. Campbell was really, you can see he was really nervous. He was handling the puck like a grenade. So that first period was kind of like a feeling out. And the Leafs didn't look terrible, but they weren't really playing to their best of their abilities. And the Canadiens took advantage of that and kind of just rope-a-doped a little bit. They outshot the Leafs, but they didn't do anything overly dangerous either. Matt, what did you see?
Pretty much exactly what you just said. It was I'm not gonna say it was boring hockey, but it was two teams that didn't want a mistake. They didn't want to give up the first one. A lot of shots from the outside, a lot of no real danger, a few hits here and there. But I think they were just trying to feel each other out and see how the game was going to play out. And the first period was really go to the fridge and grab another drink type period. Really, it wasn't much to watch, but at least the Leafs didn't jump out in front, right? That was what I was happy about.
Yeah, and that was key to the game. Getting that first goal, according to all the statistics out there, the first goal wins the game 75% of the time. So keeping them off the board was key. What about you, Treg?
I thought it was a very boring play it safe period for both teams. Montreal did outshot, and I found Campbell, I thought, was a bit shaky on some of those shots. He didn't handle them very well, and then there was Montreal had the chance with Anderson on the 2-0-1 who couldn't settle the puck down for a shot, and then Campbell lost the puck behind the net, and they had another chance there. By the way, Blaine, you're sort of right. It's 4 playoffs and 1 qualifying round. So
there you go.
Which didn't count as them making to the playoffs, so I don't count that. It's still only 4. But I found it very boring. I was watching. I was like, there's no real high danger chances. As a matter of fact, I think through the first 2 periods, I don't think Price had a high danger chance against him by the Leafs. I thought the Montreal did an excellent job of clogging up the neutral zone in the slot to keep everything out to the side, like you said, Blaine. Everything Toronto was shooting at Carey was perimeter, and you could see it all. So it was. I'm going to say this here. I thought it was a very well-coached game by Dom Ducharme. I liked the way he deployed his defensemen. He got Gustin and Kulak involved more, but instead of having them play together, they split time with different defensemen. Gustin played with Weber a little bit, and I saw Kulak with Sherratt, and he kind of mixed his defensemen. The only ones he really kept together the entire time was Petrie and Edmondson. There was really not much to talk about the first period. The Habs outshot the Leafs and kept the high danger shots down.
Yeah, and then the intermission comes in, and you can imagine that there was very little talk about the Canadiens. It was all about how the Leafs
talked about how good Sherratt was for about a minute.
Because Bieksa loves those gritty defensemen for some strange reason.
I don't know. Maybe because he was one.
Yeah. And he wasn't wrong. Sherratt played a strong period.
He did.
And then it was just Leafs, more Leafs.
Yeah. What do the Leafs need to do to win? Oh my goodness, they got to do this.
Yeah. Before we move on, just want to say Sherratt played the most of any defender. Played 27-58 tonight.
I thought he had a great game.
He did. He really did. He did have a great game.
He did, and Weber did as well. Now,
he did.
In the second period, we're going to get into that now. That's where things started to really kind of worry me a little bit at the beginning. Toronto seemed to be picking up the pace a bit, and Montreal was kind of taken aback. They held on thanks to Carey Price. Toronto had several more high danger chances, but then The game changed on a softie of a goal. It's like, Anderson for the last few years has been the scapegoat in Toronto because he gives up a softie. Well, Campbell's going to be the scapegoat this year because he gave up a softie on Gallagher.
That wasn't a very good shot.
No, it wasn't. But Gallagher came up the wing and he took his shot and he put it in a good spot. It went in.
Yeah.
You can't fault him for that. It wasn't a blistering slap shot or anything. It just went 5-hole. It's a stop that Campbell should have had. But goddamn, I'll take that anytime.
Yeah, and a shout out to Eric Stahl, who had a very good game for stripping the puck from Marner and creating that play.
Yeah,
Eric Stahl, by the way, is now tied for the team lead in points. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, tied on the first goal, or assist on the first goal and assist on the empty netter from Toffoli. Yeah, with a good board battle play. So.
That changed the whole momentum of the game, really, for that part of the whole momentum of the period, I should say. I will say this. I liked how the refs were letting things go, and they let a lot of stuff go on both sides.
Yes, they did.
And then I was surprised with the call on the lease for the power play, especially after Stahl hauled his man down. However, the Stahl... I mean, this is going to sound a bit homerish, but the Stahl one, there was no real scoring play. It was behind the play. It was kind of,
it was in a group.
And it should have been a penalty. But then they got the call on the little hook, I guess, on Caulfield. And
it was a hold. It was a hold. He
reached around and pulled him back.
Yeah. In that case, there it was a one-on-one battle that Caulfield had won, and there was no one else around for Miles. So if he wouldn't have done that, you could plausibly assume that he was going to take the puck to the front of the net for a scoring chance. So maybe that's why they called it.
Maybe. I think it was a weak call, but I'll take it. Considering what they didn't call beforehand. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
We'll get into other weak calls later, but that was a good goal. I mean, Perry was in the right. They finally put guys in front of Campbell.
Yeah.
Suzuki prop. I mean, Suzuki usually scores from where he was shooting. We can break down that power play to the same thing. Caulfield played the Weber spot. Suzuki played his little spot, and they just try to get the puck to one or the other.
But now it's producing.
Yes.
We said it. We said it after Game 5 that this power play has to produce if they want any chance of winning. And in the last 2 games, it's put up 3 goals in 4 attempts.
5.
It's 5?
They were 2 for 4 in Game 6.
Yeah.
They had that many? I can't remember.
Yeah. I don't know what they had. Did they only have the one this game? I couldn't remember if they had 1 or 2.
2 for 4 and then 1 tonight. Yeah.
So there you go.
3 for 5. Yeah.
3 for 5. So it's producing goals. Even if it's just 1 goal in a game, it's producing. And you need that from your power play if you want to move on. It'll make it harder for the other team to take penalties because now they have to worry about your power play producing goals. It creates space. It creates time. So it finally produced the goal again. So that's 2 games in a row where they scored. That's huge. I honestly don't care how they do it as long as they do it. But in this case, you're right. It was Perry to the front of the net, Suzuki shooting through the screen. This time it just went off Perry's leg and in. It might have gone past him. Either way, Campbell did not see that puck whatsoever. So Perry did his job.
Yeah, it went off his knee, went in the net. Campbell had no clue. You can tell by the look on his face. He was like,
yeah.
There was no goalie interference. He never even came close to Campbell. 2-0. And that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game, really.
It did. But at the end of the period, though, that's when there's that kind of questionable call on Armia. But it's a makeup call. Anyone who says makeup calls don't happen anymore, bull. Just because he got caught on a hot mic, the refs aren't going to change the way they do things. It was a makeup call. You can argue if it was a weak call or not, but it was no weaker than the call that Caulfield got in his advantage. So,
I mean, to me,
yeah.
it looked like two guys battling for the same spot, and one guy was just stronger than the other.
Yeah.
But like you said, the Caulfield call was weak. They gave the Armia one, and it really did. Actually, Montreal killed the power play very convincingly. Their PK has been probably the best thing about this series because they did allow 3 goals, but they really shut them down. I mean, they allowed 2 goals on that 5-1 loss in game 2, I think it was, and one other in their game 4 loss, I think. But other than that, they've been really hammer it down on the Toronto's power play.
Well, those 3 wins in a row, they didn't allow a single power play goal.
No.
So they stepped up when they needed to. And then going into the third, they killed off that penalty. They did really well on that. They really didn't give Toronto a lot of time to set up in the zone, which is good because you don't want to let them start to build any momentum when you're up 2-0. But the problem with the third was they sat back. They sat on that. They got lucky at the end of this game because Carey Price was there to step up and save them because they sat back. They only had a couple of shots on net. I think it was 4 or 5 shots.
16-5 were the shots in favor of Toronto.
There you go. It was 12-2 for the shots in the first 12 minutes of that period. 12-2. Clearly sitting back. Yes, Toronto didn't do a lot to attack the middle, but you're clearly sitting on a 2-goal lead after spending 2 games in a row, coughing up a 3-goal and a 2-goal lead to go to overtime in each one. That is not a good idea.
No, I mean, they did it in every game so far. They had a lead. Games 5 and 6, they lost the lead doing it. Killing that power play at the early was huge because that would have changed the whole dynamic of the third period if they got a goal. And if you really think about it, Toffoli's empty net goal became even bigger because of the goal by Nylander with a minute and a half to go or whatever time was left. And that was what made it 3-1. But yeah, Montreal starts it. Now, mind you, I thought they played better in this period than they did the other 2 games when they started sitting back because they didn't sit right back on the blue line. They started farther up on the red line and made it harder for them to get through the neutral zone and made it harder for them to set up in the
yeah.
And so they played it a bit better, but they still should have waited till there was 5 minutes left in the period and then started doing that. But
they also didn't rely on just 4 defensemen throughout the game. With Gustafson playing just over 10 minutes and picking up an assist on the power play goal, and Kulak played nearly 13 minutes. So we talked about this on the last show with the 2 of them only playing just over 6 minutes apiece. And I'm happy they did that. And you could see, yes, that there was a few of the defenders that were a little bit wore down. I know they brushed Sherratt's name up many times and said, "Oh, if he can't come back," but the guy's a gamer. He like I said, he led the team in time on ice, and he played a very big game for them.
So that makes 2 points for the Habs blue line in that entire series.
Yeah.
When it comes to the series against the Jets, we're gonna have to see a lot more out of them. We'll cover the Jets series in our next episode, but for now we'll stick to this series. The defense finally putting up some points the last couple games, but just 2. That's not enough. It's not enough.
And not a lot of time to recover either. But they're in Winnipeg as a Wednesday night.
That's right.
So and you're going into Winnipeg with a team that's rested up, like really rested up.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll cover the Jets series in our next episode. We'll finish off this series. Toffoli gets that empty netter. Thank God. Because if he had not gotten that empty netter and then Nylander got his goal, his greasy little goal like he did there, it'd be 2-1. And
we would have saw a hell of a lot more pressure.
Yeah. But it's obvious that the Leafs basically quit.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
You could see it. You could see it on their faces.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about this. I know, Treg, you brought it up on your Twitter and everything about fans going after Marner and stuff like that on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And obviously that's not the right thing to do. But you could tell he was one of the players that was just done. And any chance that he got, they foiled any attempt that he made at the net. So I think that they didn't have the big guys rolling, and I'm not going to say it cost them the series, but really their whole team didn't really roll as a whole. And I think I think that they went up 3-1 in the series, and they said, we've got this in the bag, and well, we're talking about it now.
Well, when your top scorers, Marner and Matthews, only score 8 points together,
yep,
when they average, I don't know, 400 points, you know what I mean?
Like, a hell of a lot more in the season.
A hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at it and be like, what the hell's going on here? And all honesty, all Matthews points came in one game.
Yeah.
They literally came in game 2.
Well, no, didn't he get an assist on that Nylander goal there at the end?
Maybe. But I'm just saying, like,
he did, yeah. He did.
I mean, if you look at the game logs, I don't have them right here in front of me, but like, for instance, Marner, 2 points in game 1, and then 1 point game 2 and 1 point in game 5.
Yes. Matthews got 1 in game 7, 1 in game 5, and 3 in game 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's winning the Rocket Richard with 41 goals in 52 games that he played?
I think he played all 56.
No, he didn't, because he missed time of the wrist.
Oh, yes, because of his wrist. Yeah.
He had that bum wrist, and he battled through. But scoring 41 goals in 52 or 53 games, then disappearing in the playoffs. If I were a Leaf fan, I would be livid.
Not only did he score 41 goals, he scored something like 12 or something like that against the Canadians alone.
That's right.
So it's not like the Canadians, it's not like he was McDavid against the Canadians and only scored like 2 goals or something like that. But I'd have to look it up here. But Matthews against Montreal scored a ton of goals.
He did.
Now, I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure that the Canadians are the only 4 seed to win a series.
Yes.
This year.
Yeah. He scored 7 goals against Montreal, 14 points in 10 games. He was almost a goal per game player against Montreal. And you got 1. That's it.
Yeah. So I realize that Leaf fans are going to have to rely on that whole regular season 7-2-1 record so they can, lord that over the Habs fans. But
Islanders were a 4th seed.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Islanders. Really? Yeah. Islanders were a 4th seed, and Boston was a 3rd.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's another 4-3 series.
Yeah, Pittsburgh
going
won
on
Pittsburgh won the division. Okay. Washington was 2nd. Yeah.
All right. I thought the Islanders were 3 and Boston was
2. Yeah, so did I. But whatever. Sure.
I was just going off the top of my head.
Okay.
But
sure, Matt. Throw all your facts at us.
After going online and cheating and looking them up.
Thank you, Yahoo Sports. If you would like to sponsor us, you feel free to.
Yeah, we'll take your money.
We will take it.
Yeah. But yeah, the Leafs, I almost feel bad for them.
Well, what's next?
Almost.
What's
but then
next?
again, don't care.
This is the thing. Like, what's next? Like, I put up a page on the side here, like I usually do before we record. They gave up a 5th round pick for Hutton. Hutton didn't play. He played 4 games. They gave up a 3rd for David Rittich. Didn't play in the series, obviously, because obviously they're going to go with Campbell, and Anderson was back. Riley Nash, believe he only played 1 game. They gave up a 7th round pick for him. And the big one being Foligno gave up a 1st and a 4th. And the 1st was for this year. And, Foligno, I think he played
He played
four.
hurt.
He did play hurt. He did play hurt, but not a goal in the games that he played.
No.
Wasn't really that effective, other than his big moment was fighting Corey Perry in the first game.
Yeah. And see right there, they're going to have their built-in excuses. Yeah. Well, we didn't have this and we didn't have that and blah, 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 blah. But hey, sorry, folks, you finished first.
It's true.
Too bad.
But you look at this year. You look at this year now. Going into the draft, they have a second, a fifth, and a sixth. That's it. Next year, a first, second, and a first, second, and a sixth.
Hey, and
for the next 2 years.
I said it at the start of the year that this year they had to make the final or start again, because this was their window.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm just going off of Cap Friendly. Shout out to them. Next year, UFAs: Nash, Hyman, Simmons, Foligno, Galchenyuk.
He was rehabbed too.
Jason Spezza, Joe Thornton, Bogosian, Ben Hutton, Dermott, Marinson, Anderson, and Rittich are all UFAs.
So basically a lot of people.
With Dermott being one of their RFA.
Yeah.
And now no draft picks for 2 years.
And not a lot of money.
Yeah.
So my heart bleeds for them.
And they're losing Anderson, so
there's no way he's coming back.
They're gonna hope Campbell's gonna be their guy of the future.
But I come back to it again. The big knock on Anderson was he let in a weak goal in a key game last year and the year before. Yep. Campbell did the same thing. Goaltending's not their problem.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't last year either.
And it's sure as shit not Montreal's problem. No. Mr. Average, Carey Price. Carey Price is just so average. I can't believe he's average. Going to Toronto's media, now the Habs fans are going to be going on about how this average goaltender stole a series. Well, yeah. When you got a .950 save percentage and your team comes back and wins a series.
.968 in this game.
Yeah. It's a good thing that Montreal's high-priced, expensive goal-scoring talent stepped up to carry Mr. Average.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people are saying, price is all you got. Price is all you got. Price is all you got. You know what? Who cares? He's part of the team. He does his job. He doesn't put the puck in the net, but he sure as hell can stop it.
When your best player is your best player, that's when you win series.
That's
the
exactly
Leafs will learn that someday.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And just speaking of series, Mark Bergevin now has won more playoff series than any other GM since Serzavard. He was tied with Bob Gainey. Mm-hmm. Now he has more.
Yeah. So I love Bergevin at the end of the game. He's down there slapping Price on the back with his red suit on and everything. It was nice to see.
Yeah, he's like, thanks for saving my job, bud.
Yeah,
that's right. He was pretty amped up. Yeah.
You think? Like, I was this close to getting fired.
I got to bring up something. Something is bugging me.
Oh God.
Why the hell are the coaches
using that cream and the rash will go away?
Why the hell are the coaches wearing masks when they're going to take them off to fucking say something anyway?
I don't know.
Why are they wearing them?
I don't know.
Because every time you look at them, they're doing this.
Yeah, they're like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it really makes no sense.
I scream at people a lot in my day job. Yeah. I bark orders. I yell drill commands. I wear a mask.
I can do it through a mask. Yeah.
They hear me just fine.
I don't know. I had to bring it up because I've been thinking about it all night and it bugs me. They're with the team anyway. Just let them not wear a mask.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
They're all fully immunized.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Cool point. Of the 17 highest paid players in the NHL, only one is going into the second round. Can you guess which one it is?
Carey Price?
Corey Perry.
Correct.
Shit.
Carey Price.
Well,
there's 3 guys ahead of Price that play for Toronto.
Where are they going? A 4. Sorry, I had to make the joke. I had to.
I've been holding all these chirps in because I didn't want to say anything because it just jinx you. You say something on Twitter and then you lose, and everyone's like, ugh.
For any of the Leafs fans that are listening, because you probably
Kraken fans now.
Kraken fans now, I guess. I will say something to kind of counterbalance just with the golf reference. I was very happy to see Tavares skating. That could have been a hell of a lot worse. That could have been a real career-turning injury with with the contact he took to his head. Happy to see him back, and we'll likely see him back next year.
I'd also like to point out that if you truly dislike us and you're using this to continue trolling us, we welcome that. We also would welcome you to use our promo code unfiltered20 to save 10% off from builtbar.com. Delicious protein bars. They taste like candy bars. They are amazing. Order them online. They're at your house within the week. I suggest buying 3 to 4 boxes once a week because you're going to eat them all anyway. They're low calorie. They're keto friendly. Some of them, several gluten-free options. Delicious. Another brand you can go to is East Coast Lifestyle. Use the promo code unfiltered20 and save 20% off your next purchase using our code. And now back with us, seatgiant.ca. Use promo code unfiltered20 and save 35% off the fees when you purchase your tickets from SeatGiant. Not Leafs fans, because you guys don't have any more hockey to go to, but Habs fans, use them. Those tickets are expensive. Save yourself some money. On us. You're welcome.
I'm going to have to do wrestling things before every game now. Because I'm going to have to do a video for every game now because ever since I started doing the videos, they've been winning.
My teenage daughter watched the video I made in response to yours. Apparently, I'm super lame. And she's, who the hell is that guy? Because that is so bad.
For you or for both of us?
You. I was lame and you were horrible. She was embarrassed watching it. So I think whatever it is,
people and 700 viewers think differently. So
I feel like it worked.
The Habs won.
The Habs won.
That's all that matters at the end of the day.
And know who didn't lose. And you know what else we're not going to hear? That we were the team that Toronto beat to finally make it to the second round.
That's right.
I think Habs padded. I think Habs all along said, we're letting them get up 3-1, and then we're just going to destroy it.
But as you guys said when we were talking before the show, this was their big moment. This was their, Greg,
this
you
is
said.
this is our Habs fans. I'm telling you now, this is our Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I can't see a cup win this year, but
I can't see anyone beating Colorado this year, to be honest with you. But no matter what happens after this, it's just all gravy.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Anyway.
I'm glad they gave those tickets to the frontline workers, the nurses, the doctors, the paramedics, because at least they were there to help the Leafs after choking.
All right, this show just came into a big Leafs chirp. They're falling. They're falling. The Leafs are falling.
That's the first sign of spring.
No, that's actually fall. But anyway, yes.
In Canada, the Leafs fall.
In Canada, the first sign of spring is when the Leafs fall.
Yeah.
You dirty Toronto Maple Leaf, get out of here, you Leaf.
I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a lot easier for me at work tomorrow. Surrounded by freaking Leaf fans, it's gonna be amazing.
I'm duty tomorrow. I got to open up, and I'm just gonna drive my truck into the bay with my flags on each window. Every time someone walks in, I'm just gonna go woo.
When I do my morning brief on Wednesday when I'm back, I'm gonna have a box of Kleenex behind my clipboard when I'm giving out the jobs for the day, and I can just throw that down on one of the tables, and they can pick that up as they need them.
And they do.
And they will.
Oh, they do. So I guess we've pretty much exhausted the breakdown of the game and some Leaf chirps. I'm going to ask one question before we end the show. Do you feel that Ducharme and Bergevin are going to keep their jobs now.
Ducharme, no. Bergevin, yes.
Matt?
Bergevin, yes. Ducharme's leash got a hell of a lot longer.
Actually, I don't think Ducharme should be brought back, but I think he will be brought back. How does that sound?
Yeah, I think so as well. And I asked this on the Habs Unfiltered account. Has forcing a Game 7 versus the division's top seed made you change your view of Bergevin and Ducharme? And 54% have said no, fire them. The remainder is a mixture of firing and firing.
So firing one or the other.
Only 17% said yes, keep them. So 17% have changed their mind and wanted to keep them. 21% have said, no, my mind is still the same. I want to keep them. But the remainder, approximately 60 some odd percent, are fire them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think winning this series, getting to this point, Bergevin was safe. Winning the series, I think Ducharme is now safe.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I'm not unfortunate because I think they're going to lose Joel Bouchard because of it.
And that's who I wanted them to hire.
Yeah.
But maybe they give him a great big raise and he stays put for now.
But
I don't
free
know.
agent, I think, after this season.
After the season's done, he's open. So we'll get into that in the off season, whenever that happens to begin. We will get into the Jets series in our next episode. And in our next episode, we will also have a visit from Brian Wiley. He's going to join us and talk to us about the atmosphere that was at the Bell Center for Game 6. So for now, let's just bask in the glow of beating the greatest team to ever have been assembled, according to Sportsnet, the dynasty that is the Leafs, who have never won a playoff series. And the crappy Habs have.
And have not beat the Leafs in a playoff series since 1967. Or,
No.
sorry, have not beat the Habs in a playoff series since 1967.
That's right. That's now 2 series since that 1967 series.
You're ruining the narrative.
No, they played each other in the 70s, like 79.
Yeah,
or
79.
This is the second time.
Okay.
79 and then now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
twice since 67. Or no, 3 times. They didn't play them in
once
71.
again, 71, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 times. So, hey, 3-peat.
Would have been 4, but thanks, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really. Thanks. Appreciate
No, thank you.
it. Yeah.
I was much happier playing the LA that year than Toronto. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, when you win the Stanley Cup, you want to beat the best, and that's Gretzky, not the Leafs.
what? Felix Potvin's the best. Come on, we all know this.
I got a story about him, but I'm not going to say that on the show. Let's just say family issues, a little bit of money was involved. You know how it goes. Anyway, we've rambled. We've talked about the series. We've talked about the game. The Canadians have beaten the Leafs 4-3, have pulled off the upset with a big comeback. Go Habs, go. So we want to thank everyone for listening. We want to thank you for staying with us throughout this series, through our rambles. And remember, if you are talking about it, so are we.